Hi everybody, in this video we are going to write quadratic equations, but first we're going to have to find A. So let's go ahead and get at it. So here we have a parabola that passes through the point 4, negative 35. It has x-intercepts of negative 6 and 11. So first of all, let's go ahead and identify this. They said we have x-intercepts of, thought I had my highlighter, x-intercepts of negative 6 and positive 11. That right there indicates to us that the form we need to write this equation is y equals a x minus m x minus n, where m and n are our roots, our x-intercepts, right? And it doesn't matter which one you put where. So we know that this is m, so you just label it m and n here. Okay, so, and we are giving a point. So our point, we're going to call this X and Y, and that is going to allow us to find A. So here's some steps. So here are our steps. Step 1, identify the form by the key features. In our case, we are using the x-intercept, so therefore we're going to be using the intercept form. Second, substitute the values in the form. So we were given negative 6 and 11, that's our m and n. And we were given a point, so 4 and negative 35, and that's our x and y. Number 3, solve for a. Number 4, write the function in the requested form using a and the key features. All right, so let's go ahead and evaluate this function for our numbers. So y is negative 35. And whenever they give you this, they're gonna and they want you to solve for a, they're gonna give you an additional point that allows you to substitute for x and y. That will help you find what a is so that you can find the function. So once we plug in everything, you'll see that a is the only variable that's left that doesn't have anything, and we'll have to solve for that. So a, x is 4 minus my 0 is negative 6, so that's going to mean a negative 6 here, which creates a situation where it's going to become a plus. We talked about that before. This situation right here is actually going to become a plus sign. All right, let's keep going. And x again is 4. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to put the number 4. And n is a positive 11. So I'm going to say minus 11 here. Now I'm going to use the order of operations to simplify. So here we go. We have 4 plus 6, which is 10, and 4 minus 11, which is negative 7. There you go. Now we're ready to simplify even further. We're going to multiply these two terms together, positive 10 and negative 70, and that's going to give us negative 35 is equal to a times negative 70. Now to get a by itself, we need to get rid of the negative 70. Well, negative 70 is being multiplied by a. In order to simplify or isolate a by itself, we need to divide, do the opposite of multiplication, and divide by negative 70 on both sides. All right, so now we have a is equal to negative 35 divided by negative 70. A negative over a negative makes a positive, and so 35 over 70 is actually going to be equal to 1/2. So our a is 1/2. Now we're ready to write our function. So our function is going to be y equals 1/2, and then we're going to plug in our zeros like we did before, right? Negative 6 and negative 11. So it's going to be x plus 6 because 6 was negative, and x minus 11 because 11 was positive. All right, and so you write your function here like so. If they ask you it for intercept form, you are finished. If they ask you to go further and make it standard form, you have some more work to do. All right, so let's go ahead and identify Does this parabola have a maximum or minimum? Well, I know that the fact that this parabola has a minimum because A is positive, right? A is a positive 1/2. So when A is positive, that means the graph is concave upward. And the graph is concave upward, that means the vertex is here. And if vertex is there, that means the vertex is a minimum. So this is a minimum. Next question. What is the value of the max or min? So you can find the value of the max or min by taking the intercepts and actually finding the average of them. So we have our intercepts here, -6 and 11. So we're going to add them, right, and find, and this is actually, so to find the x-coordinate of the vertex, you would find the average, right, of the intercepts. So we're going to find the average of our x-intercepts. So -6 plus 11 divided by 2 is going to give us a +5/2. Okay. And now the next step after we find the average of the intercepts to find the x-coordinate, we're going to take that value and substitute it back into the function to find the y value of the coordinate. So this is the x value. Let's find the y value. So y is equal to 1/2. X becomes 5/2 plus 6 times x 5/2 minus 11. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that looks kind of funky, and that's what a calculator is for. So let's go to Desmos and use our calculator. So we're here in Desmos, and we're going to go ahead and type in our expression. It is going to be 1/2, all right, times 5/2 actually it's going to be plus 6, close parentheses, and then again 5/2, and this time it's going to be minus 11, and then close parentheses, and there goes our answer, -36.125. -36.125. So our y coordinate is -36.125, which means our vertex is 5/2, which is 2.5. So here goes our vertex. What is the value of the max or min? So that's actually only asking us for the y value. So you just simply type in the y value, -36.125. And voila, we have our answer. All right, on to the next example. So in this example, we're going to write the quadratic function with the vertex -10, 4. So that's going to be h, and that's going to be k. The function passes through the point 9, -10. Remember, we said in these problems, they're going to give us another point, and we're going to call those x and y. So when written in vertex form, the function is y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. So let's go ahead and substitute the values in and solve for a so that we can find our function. We can actually go ahead and put h and k into our answers. So h is -10 and k is 4. And so let's substitute it in, right? -10. So y, which is -10 here, is equal to a, we don't know, but we know that x is 9, minus h, we know that h is -10, so we're going to say -10. And that gives those two minuses we talked about before, creates a situation of a positive. So that's going to be a plus squared plus the k, which is 4. Now we're going to simplify our expression and solve, okay? So we have -10 is equal to A times 9 plus 10 is going to be 19 squared plus 4. And so now we need to go ahead and simplify. 19 squared is actually 381. So negative 10, using PEMDAS, of course, negative 10 is equal to A times 381 plus 4. So let's subtract 4 from both sides. And we have negative 14 is equal to 381. I'm just put that out front, A. Now to get times A. Now to get rid of the 381, we need to divide by 381 because it's being multiplied. So divide by 381 on both sides. And so A, and this cancels out at this point. So A is equal to negative 14 over 381. We just need to see if that simplifies any. So let's go to decimals to check. So negative 14 over 381 doesn't actually simplify. We kind of already knew that, right? We just use decimals to make sure. But when you look at the 19, 19 is a prime number. And so when we squared it, that gave us 381. And because it was prime to begin with, we knew that 14 and 19 didn't have anything in common. Therefore, 14 and 381 was not going to have anything in common. So our A is negative 14 over 381. And so you type your answer here. And you are finished with that problem. But let's go ahead and write the equation. So we know what A is now, right? So negative 14 over 381. And we keep our vertex. So our vertex was negative 10 and a positive 4. So that's x plus 10 squared, right? Plus 4. And that gives us our equation in vertex form. All right. So that's it for solving, writing an equation of a quadratic after you find A. Look out for the next video.